Okay, so to be able to complete quiz 5, the last thing that we need to do is complete page 14 and talk about increasing and decreasing intervals. These, I think, are very straightforward, and most of you will know what to do on these. There is one element, though, that is a little bit more challenging, and that is listing or telling where the function increases and decreases. So on the top part where it explains what is what, the first thing that I want to note is that you need to look at the y values to determine what the function is doing. So in all of those blanks to the right-hand side, it's going to tell you to look at what the y values are doing. That's what tells you if it's increasing, decreasing, or staying constant. What presents the challenge is that you also have to consider what's happening on the x or where we're at on the x. So right underneath that, it tells you that each time that we do this, we have to go left to right. So what that is indicating, these three left to rights, is that we need to look at the x values to see where it's increasing or decreasing. And that's the element this year that we're adding on that's new. So just to keep it consistent, down here on each of these graphs, 1, 2, and 3, I am going to highlight the x-axis because that's going to tell us where we're increasing and decreasing. So we not only need to consider the x, but also the y. Or we not only need to consider the y, but also the x. Okay, so how do we determine if it's increasing, decreasing, or constant? So this first one is increasing. A function is increasing if the y values get bigger as you move left to right. So the easiest way for me to show you this is to trace it with my finger. So if I start on the left point of the graph and I trace this to the right, my finger goes up. That's what they mean by the y values are getting bigger. Your graph looks like it's going up. So it's decreasing if your graph looks like it's going down. So if I do the same thing, I start on the left side and I trace this line, my finger is going down. That means your y values are getting smaller. So we start at like a y is 3 and we end at like y is 1. So they get smaller. Here we started in the negative y's and ended up in the positive y's. Why are you stapling? Good heavens. Then the last one we would say is constant, which often is referred to as neither. It's not getting bigger or smaller. It's staying the same, moving left to right. So the line is kind of hard to see, but he's down toward the bottom. He's this line. If I start at the left and move toward the right, my finger doesn't change where it's at, up or down. It just stays flat. So when we're given a graph, we have to determine if it's increasing or decreasing. This guy on your absolute value, the top part, is called a turning point. It's also its vertex, but we can call it a turning point. The reason that it's called a turning point is because your function is literally going to change directions. So if I start on the left-hand side of this graph and I trace moving right, the line is going up. So I would say that this is an increasing function or an increasing interval. Then right here at the top, it turns around and starts to decrease. So down here, we can write that we have one increasing interval and one decreasing interval. We're going to have to come back to this, though, and tell them where it's increasing and where it's decreasing, but we're going to leave that till the end. Next up is a roller coaster. He has two turning points. He has a turning point at the top and a turning point at the bottom that you can see on the graph. So if I start on the left-hand side and I follow the graph, this interval is what? Increasing or decreasing? Increasing. Then we turn here and this interval is decreasing. Then we turn one last time and end up with an increasing interval. So for the roller coaster, you have 2 increasing, 1 decreasing. And like I said on the last one, we're going to come back and tell where it's increasing and decreasing. So this is the last one. You have 3 turning points this time. So you label the sections. There's 4 different sections here. You label if they're increasing or decreasing. Give you about 10. Five. 3, 2. Okay, show me. Just kidding. Distracted teacher. Sorry, guys. This one's decreasing. This one is increasing, decreasing, increasing. Did you guys do okay? So I want to highlight the decreasing ones in yellow because I feel like it's kind of hard to see, but these 2 are decreasing. I just want to make it a little bit clearer, like what the D's are applying to. So down here at the bottom, we'll say 2 increasing, 2 decreasing. Not too bad, right? Would you guys agree? Yeah, not too bad. Okay, so let's do truly like 3 or 4 whiteboard questions. And then we'll finish up and you'll have the rest of the period. No, we're going to leave all this from the increasing and decreasing on. We're going to leave that blank. We can do it. We know how to do domain and range, but I don't want to add too much on. I want to just focus on increasing, decreasing. Okay, so on your whiteboard, you guys tell me how many increasing intervals does this graph have? So on your whiteboard, you're writing 1, 2, 3, 4. How many increasing intervals does this guy have? You got about 10. Remember, these are not optional, so if you need to hold up a blank whiteboard, you do that. Increasing. 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, show me. Okay, this has 1 increasing. It's this guy right here. It's this guy right here. Okay, this guy. How many decreasing intervals does this guy have? How many decreasing intervals? 10. 5. 3. 2. Okay, show me. 2. Great. Maybe just one more. Does this graph have any constant intervals? Does that graph have any constant intervals? Yes, so great. Just yes or no. 10. 5. 3. 2. Okay, show me what you're thinking. No. So this looks like it's constant, this bottom part, but really it's not. It's just gradually getting bigger. So if you thought yes, hopefully it's because of this part. If it's constant, it'll be obvious in the graphs that you get. So like this one, let me zoom out. This one's labeled the different things. So it has one constant interval. You're hanging in?